And at the State House, nearly 2 hours of testimony from the public telling state lawmakers they don't want South Carolina teaming up with immigration officials. A proposal at the State House would require every agency that operates a jail to coordinate with federal immigration officers. Our Mike White was there for that hearing. It stretched into the early evening. What's the latest on this, Mike?
Yeah, Brian, the proposal would give local law enforcement the authority to take on the duties of federal immigration enforcement agents after getting the necessary training. Now today, for almost 2 hours, state lawmakers hearing testimony from more than 24 people who said they don't want local police to be a part of that effort.
This bill concerns local law enforcement agencies entering into immigration enforcement agreements.
Late Tuesday, State Representative Travis Moore and a small group of lawmakers hearing testimony from the public about that proposal, and it was met with resounding opposition.
There are no officially designated sanctuary cities in South Carolina, as state law actively prohibits them. So why all the attention and momentum over this bill?
This bill places a burden on local law enforcement and infrastructure.
The proposal would have local law enforcement take on the duties of federal immigration enforcement officers after getting the necessary training. It would allow for them to be involved in the 287G program that authorizes local law officers to enforce federal laws, including task force, warrant, and detention agreements. Law enforcement would choose which ones to be a part of.
I don't think it's unreasonable for someone who's been arrested for violating the laws of this state for us to ask our local law enforcement officers to check and see if that person has other warrants, federal warrants in the immigration court, before they release them back into society.
If approved, SLED would provide law enforcement agencies with the necessary training to enforce federal laws. However, some say the training still isn't enough.
What these officers, these agents are in fact trained to do is to oppress our communities, to terrorize our communities, to tear our communities apart. That's the training that they receive.
The debate over the proposal comes a week after news of a so-called secret lease that allowed an ICE legal office to set up in the Main Street corridor of Columbia.
These moves by ICE to come in and invade and occupy and carry out their operations here in Columbia threaten our safety.
No decision was made on the proposal Tuesday. Lawmakers say the committee wants more time to improve the proposal.
We need to look closely at the funding considerations. Those are legitimate. If there are unfunded mandates in here, if there really are costs associated with these agreements that we haven't already identified.
Now, State Representative Travis Moore says there is no timeline yet on when they plan to vote on this bill. He said there's no need to rush, and important issues take time to be done in the right way. Reporting in studio, Mike White. Watch Fox News Local First.
All right, thank you, Mike. Still more to come clearly on that particular issue, of course.